going to take a little video of Wally, my 8.5-year-old feist mix, and my 10-month-old puppy Pepper. And we're going to record them eating a whole prey duck. So one of our friends raises ducks for meat, and he usually takes the breast meat and either eats it himself or sells it to his customers. And then he does give us the remaining birds. So some of them have the head still on there, like this one still does. This one unfortunately doesn't, but that's okay. There's still the duck frame here, lots of organs. There's the duck neck in here. Yeah, so we're gonna watch the pups eat the bird, see how much of the feathers they're gonna eat. They're not gonna eat 2 of them, spoiler alert, too much of them, spoiler alert, but they're going to eat some. There's the duck feet. So these 2 came off. Those are filled with cartilage, obviously. There's also some bone in there. It's very, very soft. There's lots of proteins on these birds, obviously, and they are a cooling protein, so that's great for dogs who don't tolerate warmer proteins like chicken, for example. Yeah, so let's start the feeding process. I taught all my dogs polite feeding manners, so they do have to respect me putting down their food right in front of them without taking it out of my hands, and then leave it sitting there until I give them the release word. Very good boy, Wally. Very good girl, Pepper. Okay. Up. I know she usually eats over there, but for filming purposes, I moved her feeding mat here. Very good girl. I figured she would start with a duck foot. That's easiest. Here, buddy, you can have one too. There you go. Wally here is my older feist mix, like I said earlier, and he is used to eating whole prey rabbits on a regular basis, so he gets 1 to 2 per month. He's also had some whole prey guinea pigs, and they have both had duck frames and duck wings and duck necks and duck heads too, but they have not had whole birds yet. So they weigh around 25 ounces, which is about 700, a little over 700 grams, if I recall correctly. So this is definitely more than their daily allowance. So this covers, gosh, Wally eats, how much does Wally eat per day? He eats around 13 ounces. So this is about 2 days worth of food for him. And it's about, it's about what she would eat in 1 whole day. So she's still growing. She's, like I said, she's 10 months at recording of this video. Good girl. So the benefit of feeding whole prey like this is that it satisfies their chewing urge. It keeps them busy mentally, it gives them something to do, keeps them occupied essentially. And then of course it also cleans their teeth, gives their jaws a workout. It can actually give their whole body a workout if they're standing like that, which both of these guys usually do. They do stand when they eat their whole prey. I was about to say, good girl, Pepper, for keeping your whole prey duck there on the feeding mat, but of course you pulled it off. I'm not even sure why I put it down there. Like, I always keep thinking that one day they will just keep it on the feeding mat and they will eat it on there, but I keep getting proved wrong. Oh well. Good boy, Wally. If it were nicer, I would feed them their whole prey ducks outside, but unfortunately it's wintertime right now, and it's been pretty crappy, pretty cold here. There's still some snow on the ground, so Pepper probably wouldn't mind. Since she's a lab, she really doesn't mind the colder temperatures. She really loves being outside. Him, not so much. Like, he obviously goes for his daily walks, even in the cold, but he usually wears a jacket because he does not have that warm undercoat. And so, yeah. I don't want to deprive them of the experience of eating whole prey when it's colder outside, so I do feed it in the kitchen. I did put a gate up just to make sure that they can't leave the room. And yeah, so I prefer feeding it, so I do feed it to them inside on a floor that's easy to clean. And then when it's warmer outside, they eat their whole prey outside. Always supervised, of course. I never let them eat their whole prey animals outside or anywhere without supervision. That's a given, and I would highly recommend you do that too when you're feeding whole prey. Or any raw meaty bones, any larger chunks of meat, I would always supervise that. These guys, I mean, they instinctually know what to do, but you never know. You know, there are some gulpers out there, and you first have to teach them how to properly eat their larger cuts of meat, including raw meaty bones and certainly whole prey. Although I will say the benefit of feeding a larger whole prey animal like a whole prey duck or also whole prey rabbits is that it's a lot harder to gulp those down. Like, it's pretty much impossible to do that. So they are forced to to take bites and chew. Good girl, Pepper. Good boy, Wally. It's also great to essentially floss, or a great way for them to floss their teeth. Wally, can you keep that over here? Thank you. Yeah, you can keep it there. Yeah, it would be ideal if you kept it on the feeding mat. I would not mind that. Oh, what I meant to say earlier was, so I'm obviously going to accept the fact that I will be mopping the kitchen after this, but that's fine with me. That's okay. So of course the benefit of feeding whole prey outside is that you do not have to mop up after the whole prey feeding session. And also another side benefit of having your dogs eat larger whole prey animals is that they're just going to be tired after. So if you feed them a larger animal like that, they're gonna be busy eating it, and they're going to focus eating that, and it's essentially a workout. So they will be snoozing afterwards. I'm gonna let them go outside to go potty, and then they'll drink some water, and then they're gonna be passed out on the couch or on their beds. Pepper, you can just eat it, you know. This is definitely the most feathers she's had on a bird so far. Like, she's had duck frames, and she's had some duck wings, and she's had duck heads, all from our friend whose wife is actually her breeder, so that's great. But yeah, she has never had a full whole duck with all the feathers sitting in front of her, essentially for her to tear into. Very good girl. Yeah. Pepper. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Yeah. So you do want to teach your dogs also that it's, you know, that it's okay for you to touch their food mid-meal. Very good girl. That's a good job. Thank you for letting me touch it. Good. Oh, puppies. So see, this is starting to be a bit of a whole body workout as she's putting her paw on the whole prey deck. It's very interesting to see how she essentially pulls out the feathers and puts them down next to her feeding mat. So she's going to be eating some, but it's only going to be a small amount. Just like wolves would do in the wild. How's it going over there, bud? How we doing, Pepper? So it's funny how she's a lot more messy eating this whole duck than Wally. There's barely any feathers, just like some tiny ones with his duck. I guess you can see that he's a bit more experienced eating whole prey than Pepper is, because he's just a little more strategic opening this thing up. And you can see some of the organs in there, like the heart. Good boy. Are you fighting it out with it? Good girl. Yeah, well, she is overall a bit more of a messy eater than Wally is, that's for sure. But that's okay. Good job, you guys. Good boy, Wally. At least she's still partially on the feeding mat. Well, actually, she mostly has the duck on her mat right now. Wally, not so much. Just FYI, this is the dog's freezer right here, so for their raw dog food. That's also where I keep their whole prey items, and I do make sure that I deep freeze all whole prey animals that they get for 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks, just to make sure that any potential parasites are killed off. One tip I can give you is to either feed a whole prey bird like that to your dogs, and still have the feathers attached where they're not going to eat all of that, and potentially also if you're feeding a whole prey rabbit, depending on whether or not your dogs do want to eat the fur. So these guys like the fur, so that's fine. So there's not really any leftovers, but with ducks, there's going to be some leftovers, mostly the feathers. And so if you can, make sure to feed it closer to garbage pickup day. And if you can't do that, just wrap everything up in like put everything into a trash can, put everything into a trash bag, and just set it in the freezer. That way it's deep frozen. It doesn't smell up your trash until the night before the day of trash day, and then just take it out and toss it into your garbage at that point. That way you're not going to be stinking up everything or attracting any rodents or whatnot. Such good puppies. You did make a bit of a mess there, Pepper. My goodness. And so far Pepper's had the head, one of the feet, and so now she's working on the frame. Wally's definitely made more progress as far as opening up the duck. He didn't have a head to eat. He did eat one of the duck feet. And I love that they're getting along so nicely, and that I can have them in the kitchen together eating their respective whole prey duck. That is awesome. I love that. I'm especially proud of Wally right here, who's my older dog, and he's only been living with Pepper for like 7 or 8 months. No, 7 months at this point. And he has really turned out to be a great big brother. He's taught her a lot, and he's been very accommodating, if I could put it like that. He's been he's been sharing everything essentially. So his humans obviously, but then also his feeding space. So over there is usually where Miss Pepper eats, and then this is usually his feeding station. It's important to remember that I don't feed whole prey every single day. I just don't have the time to do that every single day. But once to twice a month, usually twice a month. Yep, she just opened the gizzard, by the way. That's why those little stones are in there. So the gizzard is essentially like the stomach. And there's always going to be some smaller stones in there, so don't be surprised at that. That actually, they help birds digest their food. It's the same with chickens, any birds essentially. Good girl, Pepsi. Good girl. This is so good for her jaw and her teeth. My goodness. Looks like Wally's eating the gizzard too, or opened it up. Entrails, yum yums. And some fat, duck fat, good stuff. That's where all the energy sits. That's what holds all the energy for dogs. That's in the fat. Since they don't eat any carbs, or they shouldn't get to eat any carbs. I also really appreciate about this kind of feeding that I don't have to meal prep anything. I essentially just have to open up the wrapper and let them thaw. Obviously, let the birds thaw. Take them out of their wrappers and then just offer them to the dogs. Granted, I do have to mop the kitchen after. There is that. And I obviously don't always record these feeding sessions, but I figured, oh, yep, there's Wally with the gizzard. Oh. Good job, buddy. You're such a good boy. Such a little messy eater. Peppy. Fur and feathers are a natural fiber source, by the way. How we doing, bud? Way to floss. That was a big burp. So she still hasn't opened it up. I guess that's what's coming next. Let's see. Oh, good feathers. Yum. The feeding mats are dishwasher safe, by the way, so I am going to put those in the dishwasher and run it right after. And in case you're wondering, we got those ducks for free. I offered to pay our friend, but he didn't want any money, so yay. So I'm definitely very, very thankful for that and very grateful to him. So it's definitely a good thing that we do have a large stand-up freezer. I'll show you the inside real quick. Or otherwise, I mean, I would have had trouble storing everything. But yeah, so I like to label my different drawers. And we still have a few ducks in here. Can I open that up real quick, puppy? Thank you. Yeah, so there's some more ducks in here. I think we still have like 4 or 5. There's still some whole prey rabbits in here. Oh, there's another. Does this one still have the head on? Yep, it does. Awesome. So yeah, it's a mix of some ducks with their heads still attached and some unfortunately no longer have it, but that's okay. Waste not, want not. I'm just very grateful to a friend to passing these awesome ducks along to us and giving the dogs a chance to truly eat species appropriate raw dog food the way Tom Lonsdale would like it. By the way, I did interview him on the subject matter of raw meaty bones, him and one of his colleagues. And he made sure to point out how beneficial it is for dogs and cats too, by the way, but for dogs to eat whole prey animals like this. And even if people don't have the chance to feed those or don't feel comfortable feeding that, at least opt for eating larger chunks of meat just for the benefit of, you know, a workout, a physical workout, a mental workout, the satisfaction of crunching down on bones and meat and tearing and chewing and just getting the whole experience. It's very important. And should contribute to their longevity too, so, yep. Like I said, it's not a daily thing for us. Maybe once I'm retired, I could picture that. But I still have a few years to go before that happens. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome if you guys could eat whole prey every single day? Now, don't get me wrong, there are some days when I only feed ground meats just for convenience sake. Yeah. Oh, well, good girl. Such a good girl. Looks like they may finish at the same time. Good boy, Wally. Very good. Way to work out, bud. Good boy. I just think it's super, super interesting to watch these guys eat their whole prey. I mean, what a difference to just licking a bowl clean after they had some, like, ground raw dog food. Not even to talk about a full bowl of kibble that they pretty much just inhale. Well, I guess I was wrong. I guess Pepper is going to be first to finish. Oh. Well, he's not really going to eat any of the, like, attached feathers. Right, bud? But there's still some fat that's attached. He is probably gonna eat all that. Good girl, Pepper. How'd you end up all the way over there? Yeah, that last wing. You're okay, Peppy, you don't need to eat that. Well, you're pretty much done, huh? You want to take that out? Yuck. Okay, don't eat that. That's... Oh. You don't need to eat all the feathers. Nope. You want to eat this? Really? Aus. Shh. 9. Leave. That's enough. Okay. Yeah. These are just feathers. You're done, puppy. Okay. Well, you officially beat Wally. Wow. At eating your whole prey deck. Okay, Pepper. You know what? Come here. Aus. Come. Nein. Aus. Sht. Come. Come here. Very good girl. Okay. Come on. You can go see your daddy. There you go. Good girl. Come on. Go see your daddy. Go see your daddy. I'll bring you some water. There. All right, Peppy, here's some water if you want some. Good girl. Are you done? It's just feathers? Oops. The gate fell. Good job for not taking off. Good girl. All right, buddy. No. Leave that. That's enough. All right, so I guess he's done with that. Are you done with this? Yeah, I mean, I guess yours had more feathers, right? And Pepper's. Yeah. So that's what's left. Good job eating that up, puppy. All right, well, yeah, so I'm gonna, I'm going to bag the leftovers and the feathers. And, oh, maybe you're not done. Well, he's going to be done soon, so then I'm just going to, like I said, bag everything and put it into the freezer and then take it out come trash day. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed a little insight into Wally's and Pepper's whole pre-duck feeding session. You can find lots of more raw dog food related content here on my YouTube video channel and then also on my blog, caninesovercoffee.com. Happy to answer any questions you may have. Just leave them in the comments below. Hit that bell if you'd like to get notified of our other videos, of any new videos coming up, and would love it if you could hit that subscribe button too. That just helps us grow a little faster. Thank you so much.